Welcome, Queen. Have you ever said something simple and then people acted as though you had announced a national crisis was happening? Well, that happened to Suni Lee when she made the comment that she prefers a man who can take care of her and all of her friends. People immediately jumped online and started talking negative. Some even went as far as to say that she's too demanding and she isn't even worth it. But the thing is, this happens to us in our day to day lives, especially with family. We can say something simple and then they take it and they run with it and they twist it and build a whole storyline around it. That's why today I'm going to be talking about how to handle being misunderstood by family, in particular during the holidays, as I'll be sharing a few communication tips to ensure that you are able to keep your peace and enjoy the feast. So here it is, Queen. The real issue isn't what you said, it is what they heard. When people don't like you, when they don't understand you, when they just have their own issues with you, whatever that may be, they see through their filter. We all have filters. And when we are negatively impacted by our filters, that means that we are seen with a negative bias. We are not focused in and locked in to what the person intended. So their intentions go out the window. And in essence, this is what happens to you when you are dealing with family and they are seeing and communicating with and through their filters, their bias. So, for example, you might say, I'm not staying late this holiday because I have to get up early in the morning tomorrow. And they may hear, she thinks she's better than us. Or you may say, you know what? I really don't feel like discussing that topic today. And they may hear, oh, so you showing up rude today. This is what happened to Suni Lee. She made a simple comment and people took it and ran it through their own filters with their own biases and said a whole lot of things that did not need to be said. And a lot of it, as I said previously, was negative. So they created narratives about Suni Lee and who she was as a person based off of something she said that they had their own interpretation about. And when people create narratives, those narratives often have nothing to do with us and they're not founded in truth. And still, it can cause us to feel the need to defend ourselves or explain our position. And sometimes even fight for understanding. And we may not often know why. And unconsciously, if you've ever wondered why, typically the reason why is because most of us as women, we feel pressure to be understood, to keep the peace, to get along, to ensure that those we communicate with know that we were not trying to belittle them. We didn't mean to come off in a way that was disrespectful, rude, or hurtful. But here's what I need you to know. You do not owe anyone, and I do mean anyone, an explanation. You don't have to explain yourself and you don't have to shrink your voice just because people misunderstood or misinterpreted what you said. And here's the deal. If you are watching this in real time, meaning the day that I release this content, you know that Thanksgiving is this coming Thursday. And we cannot stop the clock. We cannot stop the calendar. This Thursday, Thanksgiving is coming here in the United States, whether we like it or not. And at that time, you are likely going to be surrounded by family if you engage in the traditional Thanksgiving celebration. Typically, people gather up at someone's house and they have Thanksgiving dinner. And the thing about it is, it's likely a time that labels come up, old wounds get triggered, family may say things that they expect for you to shrug off or laugh about. And oftentimes people can go down you remember lane. And you may have grown and evolved, and you don't want to keep having or being reminded of the type of person you used to be. And the reality is, it can be quite uncomfortable, and at times it can also be quite frustrating. And you can also get drugged into or come across family who feels as though they should have more access to you than they do. And the reality is, while they are family and you may love them, everyone is not entitled to the same level of access to you, especially those people who don't even honor you and the person who you are and are becoming. So here's what I need you to know. This Thanksgiving holiday, you are not showing up asking for anyone's stamp of approval. You're not. You are showing up clear and confident in who you are. I'm going to say it again. You are not showing up trying to prove or get anybody's stamp of approval for who you are as an individual. You are showing up clear and confident in the woman that you currently are and working on becoming. So I want to share with you 3 things it would be wise to stop doing. So if you are doing any of these 3 things, I want you to stop doing them. Here they are. The first thing I want you to stop doing is this. Stop feeling in silence. Misunderstanding is not an emergency that you need to solve. Pause, breathe, and let your words stand without a performance. Why? Because some people, they are committed to misunderstanding. Meaning, some people do not care about understanding who you are. They have made up in their mind on who they believe you are, and they are going to stick with that frame of mindset as long as they see fit. And there's nothing you can do, and there's nothing you can say that is going to change that and have them or make them think another way. So when you stop filling in the silence, trying to shift their mindset, then you maintain your peace instead of getting pulled into chaos and trying to convince someone who is unconvincible. Number 2, stop trying to manage their narrative. My mother taught me a very, very valuable lesson when I was just about 8 years old. And today I'm going to share that with you. I came home crying from school. I don't know about you, but yes, I was a crier. I wanted to get along with everybody. And when I explained to her what happened, it was simply that somebody said something I didn't like. And she said back to me, you know, Jesus was perfect. And not only did people talk about him, they crucified him. And since you're not perfect, what do you think is going to happen to you? And I'm not trying to get you to believe what I believe, but I am trying to get you to see that even if you are or were a perfect person, because we know there are no perfect people, even if you are perfect, somebody somewhere is going to have something to say. And it's not going to always be positive. So we can expect that somewhere, somebody's going to have something to say. And it's not going to always be positive. And it's not up to us to try to get them to change their mindset about us. we can let them have what they believe as their truth because it's their narrative. And we can still know our truth and not take on their narrative and what they say and what they believe about us. Just let them have it. And then in the process of just letting them have their narrative, their story, you get to keep your peace and you get to keep your energy. Think about it. Which one would you prefer? Trying to change somebody's mind that has already made a commitment to misunderstand you, or staying and being in peace? And then the third thing I encourage you to stop doing, if you are doing this, stop defending your boundaries. Your boundaries are meant to bring and keep peace in your life. They're not up for negotiation. They are not up for debate. And in fact, your boundaries aren't the most you expect or hope for. Your boundaries are the baseline, meaning they are foundational. It's the least you're willing to accept. Your boundaries are meant to honor you, not disrespect other people, but they're simply meant to honor you. And there's nothing wrong with you having boundaries that honor you. That's the way it should be. So I told you I had some communication tips for you, right? Here they are. Number 1, here's the first communication tip. Use the phrase, "I'm not available for that conversation." Why? Because when you say that you are not available for that conversation, you are articulating to this person, while I heard what you said and I see the conversation that you want to have, just because you want to have this conversation doesn't mean that I'm going to engage in this conversation. And that is important because when we let people know that we are not available for that conversation, what we are saying to them is, you're not dragging me into a conversation that I don't want to have. I am a free agent and I will operate as such. The second communication tip I have for you that you can put to use this holiday season is this: that's not true, and I am not going back and forth with you. Why? Because when we say this, we are again letting the person who is communicating with us, whoever that may be, whether it is a parent, a sibling, a cousin, whoever, we are letting them know, hey, I heard that lie you just told, and it was a whopper. But here's the thing. Although I heard that lie, you are not convincing me. You are not telling me a convincing story to get me to believe the lie that you just told. But you are also telling them that while you heard the lie, you're not going back and forth with them over the lie that they just told. Because the thing about it is, sometimes people will tell a lie. Yeah, I'm saying lie. Growing up, my mom used to say, don't say that. That's a bad, don't say lie. That's a bad word. Well, we using it today. And the thing about it is, people will tell a lie, know it's a lie, and they are oftentimes waiting for a response from you. They're waiting for you to get upset, to get frustrated, to go on the defense, and to have you operating in a way or acting in a way that's out of alignment with your character. They want to get under your skin. And what you are letting them know is it's not happening. Because I am not letting you pull me down a rabbit hole that leads to nowhere. So yeah, I heard the lie. But I'm not going there with you. Conversation over. Okay? The third communication tip, and it is also a phrase, I hear you, and I'm still choosing something different. Here's the deal. Oftentimes, family, they mean well, but they give unsolicited advice. And sometimes that unsolicited advice is in opposition with what we desire, with what we want, with what we believe is the best fit for our lives. And here's the deal, it is your life. So you get to choose. And that's your right because it is your life. And this phrase lets them know that, hey, I hear you. I 100% hear every word you've just shared with me. Whether you ask them to share their thoughts with you, or whether, again, like I said, they gave you unsolicited advice. And you are still letting them know that while you heard them, and it was clear what they said, that you are choosing something different. And this statement, it can be used in a number of different situations. Just think. Sometimes people want to tell us what is the best career path for us. Sometimes people want to tell us, hey, I know you like him, but he ain't the one. Sometimes people want to tell us, I see you still, you got that habit. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Whatever it may be, they may want to share with you what they think, and you may disagree. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes we do get it wrong because, like I said, none of us are perfect. So at some point, we're going to misstep. It doesn't make us bad. It makes us human. And yet, if we have determined that we want to take a course of action, we have the right to do so. And we have the right to let those we love most know that we have made a decision and we're sticking with the decision that we made. Now, that don't mean you're free from them consequences. So if the decision was bad, it was poor, it really wasn't in your best interest, you may not see it on the front end. And they may be trying to spare you from that. But eventually, you'll see it. And at that time, then you don't need to beat yourself up about it. Just course correct. So these statements, these phrases allow you to communicate in such a way that you are clear, you are concise, and you don't get pulled into unnecessary chaos. Now, as you go into the holidays, I want you to remember this. You can't control how people interpret what you say. You can't control their bias and their filter as it relates to what you communicate to them with your words. But you can control how you show up, how you handle yourself, and how you protect your peace. You are not responsible for correcting everybody's storyline, and you don't have to. And I want you to know that if you try to, it will keep you in a state of unrest and stress. And that's not the best way to enjoy the holidays, because you can't really truly enjoy the holidays if you're full of stress. You are only responsible for showing up and communicating clearly, concisely, and confidently, even when other people are committed to misunderstanding you. So, ladies, if today's life lesson session supported you, if it gave you new insights, or simply equipped you to be able to handle conflict with your communication more confidently, then I invite you to share this with someone else who you know needs to hear it. And if you know that you would like more and to hear more from me, then by all means, I invite you to subscribe so that you can be notified when I release new content. And lastly, I want you to remember this. Just because family may mean well doesn't mean that they always communicate well. But you have the power to speak your truth and to do so without negotiation. As always, I'm Coach Sam telling you that 24 hours doesn't seem long, but in 24 hours, you can change your life. So go ahead and do something life changing now.